going to try something a little different here right now. NBC4's Angie Crouch is in Haiti tonight as a volunteer helper in the massive relief effort. She flew there on a C-130 cargo plane, got there around midnight our time. As you can see, we're going to talk to Angie right now through Skype. She's in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. And Angie, you've seen all the pictures we've seen of the devastation here. What is your first reaction as you go through town there to what you see? Is it anything like the pictures?
Yeah, television really doesn't do it justice. When you see it firsthand on the ground, it really is heartbreaking. You know, we drove through the city today, and the buildings are not just toppled. I would go so far as to say about half of the buildings here in Port-au-Prince are not just crumbled, but they literally look like just a big pile of bricks now. It's nothing even resembling a building. I flew in with the Air Force this morning, and I've been traveling today with Klein, director of the LA-based nonprofit called CanDo.org, and he took some medical supplies to the community hospital here, and the medical needs here continue to be really extreme. We saw many people still being treated outside on the ground beneath tents that really aren't even tents. They're just made out of sheets. Many people are now suffering from infections, either because their wounds were never treated in the first place, or they received surgery initially and they had bad hygiene. There's no clean water to clean their wounds, and now they're suffering from secondary infections. Most of the people still have no electricity. There are power lines down all over the street. There are no utility crews working on those power lines, so it doesn't appear that there's going to be much movement on that end. Garbage is beginning to pile up across the city throughout all of the streets. These filthy living conditions are causing even greater health concerns. And what's also really striking is that along every main street that you drive along, you'll see that people have posted handwritten signs, and they say, with an arrow pointing down a little windy street, they'll say, "We need food, we need medicine, we need water, please somebody help us." Sometimes it's written in a variety of different languages because there are relief agencies here from all over the world.
Angie,
today after I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're not necessarily there as a reporter, you're there as a helper. What kind of work do you expect to be doing?
Well, what we did today was delivering medical supplies, but we're also going to be visiting orphanages, doing water distribution. The need here is tremendous, so there really is no end to the work that needs to be done here, and there are relief agencies from all over the world. It's devastating. We went down one of these windy streets today, and we had just dropped off some medical supplies, and the big truck was empty, but the look on people's faces as we drove down the street was so hopeful because they thought maybe we had food in the truck for them, and it was really heartbreaking to have to turn around and drive out of the street and not be able to deliver any help to these folks.
Angie, I'm going to give away a little bit about you. This is not the first time you've done relief work before. You've been in several countries, on several continents. How does this compare to what you've seen in other situations?
Well, you know, it does remind me a little bit of the devastation that I saw in South Africa, where I worked with AIDS orphans a few years back. The poverty and the medical need is just as great. But what really is actually more striking to me is the kind of sense of inner joy that the people of Haiti share with the folks that I met in South Africa. Despite their circumstances, despite the huge loss that they've suffered, they continue to sing. We saw children playing. We saw people marching and singing. And it's really quite remarkable when you look at the devastation and the trauma that these people have suffered.
From Port-au-Prince in Haiti. Angie, thank you very much. Angie, of course, there not necessarily as a reporter, as a relief worker. Angie, stay safe, and hopefully we will talk to you soon again.
You got it.
All right.